Well, I guess it's not too hard to tell what I've been doing all day today. I'm moving all of this stuff out of that shipping container. I'm just piling it in here for now. Trying to separate tools from garden tools or whatever, but mainly just trying to get the shipping container cleaned out. I have it sold. I hope it's going to be gone this weekend, weather permitting, but I've got to get it cleaned out anyway, get all the lights out of it, and get it ready to move. And right now I'm just piling all my junk in here. I need to build shelves and I need to do a lot of stuff, but it's only so many hours in a day. But I'm getting everything moved out, slowly dumping it in here. I've got one little set of shelves that's in the shipping container now that I'm gonna bring over here, and that'll help. I can put some stuff back on it, and that'll get some of the stuff up off the floor. But it's just another dreary, rainy day today with chickens that seem to want to be right up under your feet squawking all day. They just constantly make noise. So yeah, there's that. The pigs are still here. I've been getting a lot of messages and questions about the pigs if they're still here. They're still here. I haven't had time to do anything with them yet, and plus the weather hasn't been cooperating. It's been raining every day, so now you can see pigs and chickens back over there. So yeah, it's been a funky mess. Everything's covered in water. I need to be out here turning my cover crop under in the garden. You can see looks like a nice pretty green lawn that needs to be mowed, but couldn't do that either. It's been raining every day. But it won't be long and everything's going to be dry and dusty, and we'll be wishing we had some rain. All right, I've got everything out of the shipping container. See, I've got it piled up in here everywhere, but I'm not near as crowded in here as I was in the shipping container. So hopefully that thing will be gone this weekend. Now it's time to get ready to treat the logs on the house. That hasn't been done in a year. I've been needing to do it because they're still not sealed, and I've got to soft wash them, which will strip all the gray off and bring them back to natural looking color. So I need to get them treated, get that out of the way, and I'm gonna show you what I treat them with. This is actually, you can't really tell much about it right now, but it's a homemade solution. It's a real easy formula to mix up. Best I remember, it was the Navy that developed this decades ago. So all it is 1 gallon of ethylene glycol or propylene glycol, whichever you can get the cheapest. I use 3 pounds of borax and 3 pounds of boric acid. All the stuff is relatively cheap. You cannot use 50-50 mix on your antifreeze or your glycol solution. You have to boil it to get all the water out of it. Even straight antifreeze, if you buy it at the store, at Walmart, catch it on sale, whatever you get it from, it's gonna have a little bit of water in it. So you have to bring it up to boiling before you start adding your powder in there, or else the powder will not dissolve. So can't use the 50-50 mix. But what you can do is once you get it mixed and it cools down, you get ready to use it, then you mix it 50-50 with water. I usually end up making, when I do it, I'll make 20 or 30 gallons at a time. I just do a batch. When it cools down where I can pour it into a bucket, dump it, and do another one. What I've got here is 5-gallon buckets full, and this has been sitting for probably close to 2 years. And you can see in the very bottom, since it's gotten cold, you know, we get down sub-zero here. Since I mix it so strong, some of the powder will fall out of solution over time when it gets cold. So I just need to pour it back in here, heat it back up until it dissolves again, and it can cool back down. I can pour it in my spray rig and go to town, get to treating everything. I haven't checked all the buckets, but I think I've got 3 over there, 15 gallons. I'm pretty sure they're all 3 gonna need to be done. So I'm gonna set this up, get this warming up, and try to get to where I can use this stuff, because it's with solids in there, you can't put it in the sprayer. And then I'm gonna start, while this is going, I'm gonna start putting all this stuff on the shelf and try to organize some of this mess in here. I can do this without splashing it everywhere. See how close we are. All right, that's it. You can see it's boiling. I just checked the temp. We're at about 265. I'll shut the fire off. Let this cool down just a little bit. And I'll pour it back into the bucket and do another batch. This only took about 30 minutes. I want to sit over and breathe this stuff. Look at it, and looks like there's not any solids left in there. It's all dissolved, so that's good. So all we need to do now is let it cool and get ready for batch number 2. All right, everything is, oh, I wouldn't say it's in its permanent place, but at least 90% of the stuff is put away where I'm not stumbling over everything. I've got a lot more stuff that's got to go in here. Stuff coming from Texas. I got another shop up here I need to clean out. So there's a lot more going in here. Eventually going to organize it to where all the lawn and garden stuff is on one side and mechanical, whatever, tools and stuff are on the other. Somewhere there's going to be one of the S10s are going to be on a dolly in here, and woodworking stuff is going to end up in here. So it's still going to get filled up pretty fast. But this has everything out of my way. I can move around in here and still get some stuff done. Second batch is cooling off now of the glycol solution for the house. It's still pretty hot. It's still 230, 240. So it's cooling off. I'm gonna let that sit. When it cools off, it'll get poured back into the bucket, and I'll do another one. That'll give me, what, 15, 30 gallons total, which should be enough to treat the whole thing again. It's gonna be close. Those logs are pretty dry, so they soak this stuff up like a sponge, but it really works. I mean, 5 years later, the logs are solid as they were the day we cut them down. So let this cool off. I'll be back to do another one. Okay, all right, I've got my last 5-gallon bucket that's heating up here now. I have plenty to get started, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and mix up a batch, and as soon as this starts to boil, I'll shut it off, and then I can go put my first tank load of this stuff on the logs. You mix it 50-50 with water. I've made me a mark on here at my halfway. It's just a 15-gallon tank, so I'll put 7.5 gallons in it, fill the rest up with water, and then I can start spraying the logs and repeat. The wind's blowing quite a bit. I'm trying not to spill any of this stuff because this is ethylene glycol. So if you spill a bunch of it, you do not want animals getting into it, because it'll kill animals. If you have cats or dogs, or have chickens and whatever, you don't want them drinking it. If you get just a little bit on the floor, you can wipe it up with a rag or whatever. It won't hurt anything, but you don't want to leave pools of this stuff laying around. And when you're spraying the logs on your house, or if you've got board and batten siding like I do here on the barn or whatever, you want to start up high and let it kind of work its way down, and you don't want it running and dripping off the house. It's not the greatest stuff in the world, but whatever you put on this kind of stuff, it's not going to be environmentally friendly. So you just don't want it running onto the ground. This stuff will actually soak straight into the log, and it can rain on it an hour later and there's no residue that comes off. All right, I've got my treatment solution in the tank. Now I just need to fill it up the rest of the way with water. Since I turned the water hose on, the pigs are getting all excited. I think they may be a little hot. Yeah, she likes that. We're having one of our warm days. It's been 20s, 30s, sometimes 40s every day, and now it's about 65 degrees, so the pigs are hiding in the shade. I can get them a little bath. There we go. A little fun fact about pigs, for the people that don't know, wipe the lens off, pigs do not have the ability to sweat. That's why they like muddy places and wallows and digging down and getting into cool dirt, that sort of thing, because it's the only way they have to cool off. They start building up some body temp and they can't sweat and cool off. They have to, gotta find something, which what most of us consider nasty and wouldn't want to go in. That's what they look for. All right, miss me? Probably didn't even know I was gone. The last hour or so I've been having problems with the little spray rig. It has been used in a couple of years, and it just need a little TLC. We'll clean it out. So that's all done. Hopefully won't blow any more hoses off, and I can fire this thing up and get to spraying. We'll try it out and see what happens, but don't be alarmed if you hear some beeps. It's just me. Well, that's got my first 15 gallons done. Now we just go back to the barn, get another 15 gallons, keep on going around the house. Okay, that's got the majority of the logs treated. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna take the scaffolding down. I can come back and hit that, and all is good. I'm about to shut it down. I'm sticky. I feel like somebody has poured honey all over me, and everything is just sticky and gooey around out of the sun. So I've got to go get cleaned up and get this mess off of me. I did want to answer some questions that I've been getting here lately before I shut it down. One was about this gap right here in this log. That was a really, really crooked log that I still needed to use, and there's a window that goes right there. So I just cut a piece of it out so it would lay flat. It gets cut out anyway, but there was a big hump in it. Best I remember, it was about 10-12 inches. So I cut that out, set it in there, and now all the rest gets cut out. People are also asking if I'm going to put gable windows up there. The answer is no. You can't. It's so high up. It's just for, it would just be for looks anyway. You can't. I mean, it would serve no function other than looking up at the overhang because it's so high up over your head. The center part of the house on this end, all this back over here, 11 feet wide in the center, gets covered with fireplace. Then there's about a 2-foot section of logs that you see, and then you move into a 6-foot wide window, and then you have a 4-foot section into the corner, and it's the same on the other side. So you don't see much of the logs from the inside. It's either a stone fireplace all the way to the roof, or it's these big 5x6 windows. And then come around the front, and we're going to step out, and we're going to put windows over here on both corners. So there's quite a bit of glass goes on this side of the house, so a lot of the logs get cut away, which is my next project. I've got to go. I'm going to go donate blood first thing in the morning, get that out of the way. I am a regular blood donor, so I do that every 60 days or whatever. But that's why there's a big gap up here. That's why I'm not putting gable windows. It wouldn't do any good anyway. And the other side of the house, if you go around there, you see where I still have to close in the gable in. There will be a couple of windows on either side of the ridgepole support log, and that's just because there's 2 bedrooms up there, and you need to have a window in each bedroom. But it's not going to be gable windows. It's going to be regular rectangle windows, probably 3x5 windows. I'm here by myself anyway. I'm not going to spend $20,000 extra just putting in cool looking windows when they don't do any good. This thing costs enough as it is. So that's it. I'm going to go get cleaned up. I still have to go out and collect eggs. Haven't done that today, but if I don't go get them, they're going to be piled up everywhere. So I'm going to come back and do that here in just a little bit and call it a day.